Tropicals. So today we're gonna talk about some rainbow fish. So what'd you guys think of that little clip before we started, seeing how we breed rainbows here with the Kamaka rainbows? So if you guys tuned in early, let me know if you got to see that video. I thought that was pretty cool, having the preview. Hey Dave. So we're just gonna have a walk through our rainbow fish for sale. I think last week was proven that we can't really walk too much on the other side of the farm with the connection. It's not that great. So I'll turn you guys around here and we'll start looking at some fish. So here's our rainbow fish rack. So today I want to talk a little bit about how we breed the rainbows and just some common questions we get and just the general keeping of rainbow fish. So hopefully the video is more stable for you guys. I'm using a gimbal today, so hopefully that helps a lot. So basic rainbow fish keeping. I don't like the water too hot, so we like to keep the temperatures a little bit lower. I think between 72 and 76 is probably a good temperature. I find that 78, 80, 82, the fish don't like it as much. I like good water flow. So you see here with the Matin filter, got some good water flow in this tank. Helps with the oxygen too. So here we're looking at some Bosemani rainbow fish. We don't breed them in this tank, but I just put some mops in some of these tanks to show you guys how we breed them. So here's a mop. We just have it floating up top here. So just some yarn, and we just make it into these mops, and the rainbows will deposit their eggs on there. And then if we were going to breed these and raise up the fry, we would collect the mop and we would take it, put it in a smaller tank and hatch them out. And that's the basic way we breed all the rainbows here that we breed. We have a lot of these mops. So I'll show you guys more in depth how we use them. So yeah, there's some regular Bosemani. Here's some the crimson spotted rainbows. These look really nice. Sorry about the glare, it's pretty bad back here. This is a bigger rainbow fish species. And these are from Snapper Creek. So here's got the name here. Up here we have spotted blue, the spotted blue eyes, or the Gertrude. Now these are a smaller one. It might be a little harder to see them. These are really nice for a planted tank or a nano tank. Dave Jones, we are breeding rainbow shiners. I don't know if we have any available. Anthony will check in on that for you. Here we got Goiter River. So we breed the rainbow shiners on the other side of the farm in the vats. They like the cooler temperatures. So here's something a little different. The peacock gudgeons. Now these guys make a really good fish to keep with rainbows. Let's see if I can get it focused for you. I figured a lot of people have a lot of success breeding these unintentionally in their tanks. So those are really nice. Those would go good in a rainbow tank. They stay on the bottom, help eat uneaten food. Here we have some picta. So this is the Melanitania picta, or the Aru rainbow fish. We were breeding these guys, but I think we're stopping breeding them. They haven't been as popular as we'd hoped. So that's how we decide what we're going to breed a lot of times, is how well they sell. And we were breeding them, but since the sales of them slowed down, we just decided to discontinue that. We might start breeding them again in the future. Here's the Kamaka. Here's a really nice one. Now, this is what I had at the beginning of the video, if you guys saw the preview. This is a nice rainbow fish. They get a really nice blue color with a white blaze. And here's a mop for them to spawn on. Now, these are just the sale tanks. Some fish we do spawn intentionally in the sales tanks, but this is not one of them. This is just for an example to show you guys how we would spawn them. Appalachian Aquatics, if I come across any, I will show them to you. Here we have the Doherty rainbow fish. These are a Glossolepis Doherty. So something I want to talk to you guys about with these rainbows is, right now they might not be showing a lot of color, but that's because they're not full size. Just like Africans, the older these rainbows get, the more colorful they're gonna get. Now, not all of them, once they hit a certain age, you know, like most fish, they start to look a little off. They start to lose some color, but rainbow fish, the first year, they might not be that colorful, but if you wait 2 years, 3 years, you're gonna get this really nice, beautiful colored fish. For example, here, these are Parkinsoni rainbows. As you can see, these are considered an orange rainbow fish, and there's not hardly any orange on any of these fish. So, but give these fish a year, in 2 years, these males become stunning. The orange on them, it's just really bold orange. There's a bigger tank of these I'll show you. Now, these are probably 6 months older. They're about twice the size. And so they got a lot more orange on them, but just given time, that orange is going to become more intense and cover more of the fish's body. So this orange can it can splotch all the way up towards like this area of the fish, towards the head. See a couple here getting more splotches. And that's a really nice one. They get really big. So I think this rainbow fish gets around 6 inches, 5 or 6 inches, which is pretty big for a rainbow. Over here we have some Millennium rainbows. These are really small. Still, like I said, they're not showing a lot of color. Now you can see that this fish right there, that's definitely a male, but the color on it right now is next to nothing. Now if you give them 3, 4, 5 months, you're going to really start to see that red. And another thing that'll affect the coloration on these fish is if you're keeping males and females together. So if you add some females in with your males, they're going to color up a lot more. They're going to behave a lot more excitedly. You're going to see them flirting and dancing around the tank. So here we have the Wanamensis. These are Glossolepis wanamensis, also called the emerald rainbow fish. This is a really cool rainbow. Males have a huge variation in coloration. So males can exhibit some orange, some emerald and green colors. Their fins naturally become tattered. They just get so long and they kind of just naturally kind of start to tatter. So if you get a fish like that, don't be concerned. It's just kind of a natural thing. As they get bigger, they become more tattered. So the fins might look something like this, like torn up, but really that's just kind of, that's normal for them. Terry, I don't think we've ever offered all female packages. That might be something we consider. Now, individually, I think we offer a lot of females on the website, but as far as I know, we've never offered an all-female package. Here's another really nice one. This is the multi-squamata. So these are a Glossolepis species as well. Now I think the common name for these might be a red dragon. They get a nice, some of them have a really nice red eye, the males. So if you look at some of these bigger ones, you can see that their eyes are red. Now this is another one that has a naturally like tattered fin, anal fin. Let's see if I can get it on video. You see that one's starting to get a little bit of tears in it. So fish might not look perfect, but that's just how it naturally is. Usually in the males, the females won't have as much. So yeah, these are really nice. Here's another tank of Wanamensis. I really like these Wanamensis. I think they're very underrated. They might not have like that instant show-stopping color like a Bosemani would, but the fins on them and the way that they flash their fins and they're just kind of hovering in place, I think it makes for a really nice addition to a fish tank. So if you see that male right in the middle of the screen there, if you pay attention, you'll see him just kind of flashing his fins. He's just kind of sitting in place. Every now and then he just kind of pops his fins like this, like he just spreads them out. So it's just, the males will do that. It's just them trying to flirt with the females and show them like, hey, come over to my territory, let's lay some eggs. So those are really fun fish. Really nice color. Really cool behaviors as far as rainbow fish go. I mean, all rainbows pretty much behave the same, but once you put the females in, you'll see they behave much differently, and it's a lot more exciting. Here we have some young, small alani. These are the Wilpogas. They're not showing much red in this tank, but when we brought them up from the vats, they were very red. So I think once they get into an aquarium at your home, that they would be a lot more red. And here's an exciting one, a newer one for the hobby. Does anyone know what fish we're looking at here? Bill, as far as hatching, we like to, you got to be careful with the temperature. So a lot of these fish, the sex ratio is temperature dependent. So if the temperature's too high, usually you end up with a lot more males. And if the temperature's lower, you end up with a lot more females. So we like to try to go with the middle of the line. And that can be kind of difficult. So we're actually working on something. We haven't really talked about it yet, but if you guys stay tuned, you might hear about it soon. But we are working with something that's going to help with temperature acclimating so we can raise these fry with a better ratio. So if you guys didn't know, these are the Melanitania mariasi. Now this is a really nice one. newer to the hobby. I really like these guys. These and the Kalitawa are new to the hobby, well, newer to the hobby, and definitely new to us. We breed both of them here on the farm. Now, the Kalitawa is known as the Holy Grail rainbow of the hobby. Now, I like these guys better. If you look real close, I like their color, their pattern, and as far as spawning them, we've had a lot more success with male-female ratio. When it comes to the Kalitawa, I don't know if you guys notice on the website, it's always males, males, males. And that is because they're a lot more temperature dependent, so we've been getting pretty much only males while spawning them. Usually that's not an issue, but for people wanting to spawn them, you obviously need females, so we've been working on that. So here we got Abe's Creek. Here's another really nice one, pretty underrated. Sorry guys, with the gimbal. Here we have the Blairi, the Chilanthrina Blairi. Really nice fish. This is another one that we had stopped breeding because the demand wasn't there. I hope to keep this strain around here. It's really nice. So if you guys want them, we might not have them much longer, so just get them while you can. I'm not sure if we're going to continue breeding it. Here's some more Blairi down here. So you can see the difference in the batch of this tank and this tank up here. This one's a little bit more mature, the fish are bigger, the males got more orange on them. And then this one, they're not too much smaller. It's pretty female heavy in here, but the color isn't as great. These were just brought up, so we put these in this tank yesterday down from the greenhouse, so they're still settling in. As opposed to the tank above, they've been in here for a month or two, so they're happy and settled in, not too stressed out. This is an exciting one that we breed here. This is Melanitania parva, or the sunset dwarf rainbow. So they don't look like much now, but this is hands down my favorite rainbow that we breed here. Full color male, looks similar to a Bosemani with the orange and the blue, but there's a definite difference. There's one small one colored up, which is pretty funny. He's a little guy and he's all colored up, but he's trying to hide, so he's not really coming out. Yeah, this is another really nice one. This one, I would call this fish a sleeper. If you wait on them, these guys will quickly become your favorite fish if you give them time and let them color up and keep them happy. This is a really nice one. And they don't get, some rainbows as they grow, they get a weird body shape. These guys don't get too much of a weird body shape. They don't get too tall and awkward looking. They kind of just, they might get a little fatter, so they might get thick as they grow, but they're not gonna get really tall and funny looking. Here's some albino millenniums. There's a few colored down males in here. These were just brought up yesterday as well from the greenhouse, so the colors aren't there. They're a little stressed. But there's a couple small males in there. So we're gonna go to the other side. And before we go, guys, I'm going to show you how we make our mops and just talk about that a little bit. Here's another tank color. The way the light shimmers off them is just, it's really nice. And especially if you have a planted tank, they just kind of like really stand out and really pull the whole tank together. Not to get too distracted from the rainbows, but here's some Liberifer's. Heros Liberifer. These are the mouth brooding Severums. Alright, let's come down here and look at some Bosemani. These guys are on fire. They're looking really good. Hopefully the camera's picking up the orange on them. It looks like it might be showing them to be a little more yellow than what they're actually. But they're really orange. So let me see. Let's see if I can adjust this. Now I cannot adjust the color at all to make it look how it actually looks, but these are really orange right now. These are just the standard aquarium strain Bosemani rainbows. Now we do breed other types of Bosemani here. We breed the Avis Creek and we breed the Antino. Here's the yellow rainbows. They think they're about to get fed. As you see, they're swarming around. This is another one that really benefits from having females in the tank. The males will just really color up. And as they mature, they get a lot nicer, a lot more yellow. They get some orange in their fins too. I know somebody was asking about rainbow shiners, but right here we have some metallic shiners. I really like this fish. This is a Florida native. I've seen them while snorkeling in some of the springs. Let's see if I can get this camera focused in on them. These guys have really nice fins. The males will get some nice long fins on the top and bottom. Sorry guys, the camera's getting a little blurry there, so it's a little hard to see. Here's a nice classic threadfin rainbow. These are really nice. The males on these are the ones with the really long trailers on the top and bottom. Another really nice planted tank addition. Or just a regular old community tank. But you gotta remember, these guys stay small, so I wouldn't put them with anything too big. They're like a little noodle for some big fish. Here we have some Cali Bairu rainbows, Chilanthrina fasciata. These guys are really nice too. Their colors are currently turned off. So, if you guys don't know about rainbows, usually first thing in the morning, these guys are just really fired up. Their color is really nice. And throughout the day, their color will just sort of start to fade. So, first thing in the morning, these guys are gonna look great. There's some tricks that people do where they will turn their lights off for a few hours during the day and then turn them back on, and the fish will be colored back up again. So for you rainbow fish keepers, if you're looking to have your rainbows more colored up while you're home, if your fish are on a timer, so if the lights are on a timer and you come home and your rainbows just aren't looking that colorful, go ahead and turn your lights off for an hour or two and then turn them back on and see what happens. So here's some Signifer rainbows. Pseudomcgill Signifer. Pricey Eye, here's another nice one that we're probably going to discontinue spawning. The demand just isn't there. It's a really nice one. These are Chilanthrina species as well. The males get a nice like tealish, greenish blue with some yellow in their fins. Here's some Lake Uter Bosemani that were bred here. And right now their colors are currently off. Now these were brought up yesterday as well, so they're just not really popping with color. And down here we have the dwarf neon rainbow. Now this is a really popular fish. They glow in tanks. The way the light shimmers off their body it's incredible. Now these, you can tell the difference between males and females in this fish. The males are going to have a nice red outline to their tail, and the females will be orange or yellow. They're not going to have that nice red tail. So you guys can see, for example, I have a spawning mop in this tank. Currently they're not spawning. I just put it in 5 minutes before I started the video. But if I was gonna check to see if they were spawning, I would just take one out of the water. For you guys that saw the preview of the video, you could see I'd take one out of the water and I would just check in the yarn for eggs. And not surprisingly, I don't see any eggs. I just put this in there 5 minutes before we started. There's some sand in there, but no eggs. But let me show you guys how we make the mops here. So we just get some standard yarn, and we will, let me open this up here. This is a storage container of a bunch of extra mops that we have pre-made. So we just take the yarn and we fashion it like this, and we'll tie, we learned this trick from other rainbow fish breeders. We'll tie this yarn up here to keep like a head on it, and we'll put a float right here, and then it'll just float in the tank like this. So down here at the bottom, we cut it so they're all individual strands, and that allows for us, when there's rainbow eggs, some people will pick them out, they'll hand pick them out, but what we do is we'll just take this mop and we'll put it in another tank to hatch out. So here we have some mops hatching out, and you can see some fry in the back there. So I'm not sure if you guys can see the fry on the top as well. These are kind of bigger. And this is actually on one of our employees' desks, so we're always working, even at our own little stations, trying to breed. So we got some more rainbows over here we'll check out. In case you guys are wondering, all these boxes right here, all these, those are all heat packs. So we go through a lot of those. All right, here is one of my top 3 rainbows right now. These are the Melanitania sahulensis Skull Creek, specifically from Moa Island. These were not bred here. We imported these direct from Indonesia. Now, these are a nice dwarf species. They don't get much bigger than this, and the males will get a nice yellow color in their fins. Interesting fact about these guys is they used to think they were the same species as the Melanitania maculicae, or the maculicae, because they're very similar looking, just different colors in the fins. So the maculicae are red usually, but these are yellow, and they don't get as big. Now, I've seen the maculicae get close to 3 inches. These guys, they won't get much bigger than this. So they're really nice. So once again, those are the Skull Creek. And then we got some more down here. Here are some more Alani. Their colors are currently off as well. There's a male that's showing off some red there. Not as bright as they get, but they get really red. Alright. Here's another tank of the Mariasi. You can see the males are nice and red. They got the red on the head, the red tails, and they have some striping going on. So they have some like red and blue stripes going down the flanks of their body. Here is a breeding tank. Currently there's no mop in them. These are old breeders, so there's not too many left. Just due to age, we've lost some. These are the taboo bill rainbowfish, or the Melanitania sexlineata. Looks like we got a nice male right there. But that's when we're spawning here. Here's a few Aves Creek Bosemani, not too many left. Here's the Holy Grail rainbow everybody wants. There's one male in this tank and a sea of females. It's the Melanitania species Kalitawa. Look at that little guy, living his best life with all the girls. So this isn't a breeding tank, but it might become a breeding tank. There's a lot of females in here that we could use. Here's a new one to us. This was another imported one. The Melanitania splendida. I think the correct name is actually Rubrostriata. And these are from Cavor Village. Still not colored up yet. We've had these in for a few months. I believe we just put them on the website, but still not full color. I think these are going to be a really nice Splendida type. These were wild collected. These are the Melanitania Dubloye. This is from Snapper Creek. Looking really good. And one more new type here, guys, and then I'm going to head out of here. This is the Melanitania Miskin Creek, another wild collected one. These are from, we got these imported from the wild. Looking really good. So let me see if I can flip this camera around. So thank you guys for joining us today. Be sure to check out our website. Check out our Facebook, our Instagram. We now have a, I believe, what's it called? I don't use it. It's the, all the short films are on it. TikTok. We have TikTok now. Brittany works really hard on that. So go ahead and check those out, guys. Thank you for joining. Check out our website if you're interested in any of these fish. So we'll catch you next week. Thank you.